Just waiting for Blake here. Oh, look who it is.
The pod live.
We're live.
All right. Just
So many meetings today.
No, I just got a coffee from Slow by Slow. All right. Ready to go.
Let's do this thing. So,
Pod is live. Quick bites. What's cracking?
not much, but you're going to talk first about crypto and Coinbase stuff.
Let's not do this whole you talk, I talk. All right. Coinbase. I had our topics in advance. Coinbase just recently partnered with Blackrock. And do you know what Blackrock is?
Yeah, like the
largest
firm. Like it's just like a big investment.
Bingo. And they have an agreement currently to partner with Coinbase to allow their investors some exposure to the crypto world. Where that becomes really interesting, first and foremost, the stock went up like 80% in, what was it, a day? Where are we today? I think up in a week, it's like 67%. So it's basically wiped out a chunk of the gains, of the losses that they've had. Now, what's really interesting to me in regards to Coinbase, one, they are a publicly traded company, so everything they do is under. Quit looking at yourself in the camera.
I was making sure that the light was...
Fix the hair a little bit. What is fascinating is they're a publicly traded company, and I think that what people don't understand about that is they are under the spotlight when it comes to their bookkeeping. Basically, everything they do is regulated by the SEC. And for a cryptocurrency lending, storage, exchange platform, it's really interesting to me to the partnership with BlackRock kind of unfold, because that could open the door to trillions of dollars. Doesn't BlackRock hold like $10 trillion worth of assets?
Yeah, I was like, they almost own the earth.
Like, what did Kanye say? The earth is worth, what, about $50 billion?
I have no idea.
That was funny.
Was on that, but
There's
yeah, they own a lot because they're real estate, but they're also
they're one of the largest.
They're just like a
investment
wealth
companies.
Yeah. I mean, like, do they manage?
I think they manage. It's more of like not an index fund, but like they manage people's money for them.
Because they're
like
publicly traded, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, those what are they called? The RIETs or whatever.
REITs.
Yeah, yep. REITs.
RIETs. Riley, you're so green.
Those are always good.
Yeah.
To hold and buy and hold. But yeah, that's interesting that they partnered. But I mean,
and wasn't it funny a week ago? Like, I was on the Coinbase website and was like, Riley, come take a look at this. Check this out. They redid the whole web user interface, and now they've got 3 huge sections. One is like the exchange platform. Then they also have borrowing ability. Just to give you guys some interesting facts on borrowing against your Bitcoin, because I think if you have such a low basis in your cryptocurrency like I did, if I sell it, I create a taxable event. Now, if you can borrow against it at an interest rate that you understand that you can make more money on that money, maybe there's some benefit there. So what I did personally is I put some collateral up there, threw some Bitcoin at them that they locked technically in a safe. They let me borrow some money. What did I go do? I went and bought some real estate. And that case study is in progress, and we're doing well. We're doing very well looking at our time value of money of that. It's kind of interesting.
Yep. It's a big topic around here.
Yeah. And then Bitcoin crashed, and I almost got margin called. So
I still don't understand
a wild ride.
But like, if you, let's say you borrow one Bitcoin that's $20,000 and it goes down to 10, that means that you.
So yeah, let's do some easy math here for the listeners. So if you put one collateral of Bitcoin, Coinbase, according to their rules, they will let you borrow 50% of value. So what is that? $10,000.
Yeah.
So if you borrow $10,000 and all of a sudden the price of Bitcoin drops from 20 grand to 19 grand, you're defaulting on that loan to value percentage, because now you technically can only borrow $9,000. So what do? They go sell your Bitcoin.
Oh, because you borrowed $10,000.
But then it creates a taxable event for you. I mean, it's kind of a big mess. So when you think of the volatility of crypto, that's where borrowing against your crypto is extremely risky, because I mean, shoot, it went from 60K down to 20K.
Yeah.
Luckily, I only like lent a tiny bit of my Bitcoin to them to just see the process. And I think that's what I was most fascinated with is, okay, what does it really look like? And what is my interest calculated bill sent to me monthly? Is it daily? Like, it was really interesting to see the financial world because I have a traditional mortgage on my house I own. I also have one on a rental property. Now, if I'm borrowing against my Bitcoin, it's really interesting to see the process. And luckily, I didn't get squeezed out like a lot of people did. And that's why the price crashed so hard, I think, is because Elon sold all of his Bitcoin in Tesla.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here.
No, that's what I wanted to know, though.
How's your crypto doing?
I mean, good.
This is week 1 of your auto buying, $25.
Buy, yep, $25.
Bitcoin is up to $24,000 today, which is great news, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I don't really chart crypto in the first place, but I'm like, I have no idea where it's even like looking like.
Right.
Like the trajectory. It's like, does it have to come down more? I don't know.
You don't know a good buying spot.
Yeah, not that I really
you chart
care.
is by G, baby.
Exactly. Not that I care because I'll just DCA anyway. So it's like
DCA all day.
even if it's whatever.
DCA it away. My projection, I think Coinbase is one of the banks of the future. They've got a great CEO. Coinbase as, I say, like a stock. I think it's a great company to invest in because of the opportunity. And I've tested a lot of their stuff. I mean, they even added on their web UI the ability for developers to build it into the backside of their websites, like wallets and stuff. So like if you're buying online products. So, I mean, that's like the next layer of how crypto can be more introduced into our daily lives, is having it be a medium for exchange,
Yeah.
So
that is super interesting. And they also have their NFT platform now too.
That is still in beta.
Really?
Which I still think, I mean, you think of not only the financial, but I like using the example of like a season ticket holder for a professional sports team.
Yeah.
I mean, what if Coinbase was the platform that they traded on? So like instead of a StubHub, you're trading on Coinbase NFT and it's an NFT ticket. Like I just think that like all of that starts to kind of come together at some point because of the ledger system that they create.
Yeah.
Have you ever been scammed on StubHub?
No.
I have. It sucks. You show up to the event and they're like fake tickets.
Yeah, I've heard that StubHub has done that before. I've also heard SeatGeek has done it, but like those are like the two main ones. So it's like
and
kind of
it's
crazy.
not them that do it. It's the people that own the tickets. Like if I were to list them and like sell you a fake ticket, like just change the barcode.
Yeah.
You just change the barcode.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I have had good luck with Ticketmaster.
Most of them are pretty good. And I think that they hedge themselves by owning some tickets for some of these events as well, just in case, like a safety.
Yeah, and I feel like worst comes to worst, if you bought it on your credit card, I feel like you can take care of that, dispute the charge or whatever.
Dude, how come my wife always calls when they're in the middle of a podcast? It's like every single time.
Or it's like you're golfing and she's like, what hole are you on? And you're like, oh, fuck.
15, and we're on 18. Yeah, because we got the 19th hole.
Yeah, so speaking of
this kind of segues Elon's. I don't know. I'm just like, I love because Elon just came out with a new podcast with the Nelk Boys.
I have yet to watch that. Yeah, I'm excited
It's 3.5 hours, but it's just funny. I'm like halfway through it, and I love watching his podcast because he's so intuitive, but at the same time, he's like very human, but alien at the same time because he has some very basic understanding of what human needs are.
Yeah.
Like autonomous driving, like renewable energy. Let's use the sun for power. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know how he's been able to do it, but I feel like he's kept a very real, authentic personality and persona of himself while being the richest man on earth.
Is he still right now? I'm going to fact check you.
I don't know. Amazon's been running, so maybe it's Jeff again.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just those two.
They're just battling it out.
But no, I think Elon's not only great entertainment, just because it's like, I think it's refreshing sometimes for people to see someone of his success and like what he's doing day to day. That's like not like a normal person because he's so smart. Where like you could probably not have a conversation with him, but like he makes jokes, he posts memes, like he's just keeps it real.
It's just like the new Tesla feature, open butthole.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Opens
like,
your thing. And you know what's funny is his team programmed that in and he just discovered it. Like there's
really?
like this inner working jokes of Tesla of these funny things that they program into these cars.
or also on their website, they have all their models. They have all their models, and it spells sexy.
Yeah.
The Model S, Model 3, Model.
Sexy.
It's cool. But yeah, it's just funny stuff like that. Like, but what was I gonna say?
Tesla's going for a stock split soon.
It is 3
I
for
heard.
1 or
3
one,
for 1.
1 for 3.
Yeah, however that works.
Whatever the hell.
3 more are coming your way.
One,
if you
yeah,
own
one share will be
of
3
Tesla.
and it'll be like what, $3.50 per share
Yeah,
now?
something like that. Because I think it's $8.89 or something like that. So maybe a little bit less than that. It's in the
less.
200s.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you trade that?
How do you trade that?
Well, like, what is your analysis of a stock split? What does it mean? What does it do?
Well, I think what it does is it allows more retail investors to get their hands on it.
Okay.
So I think it increases some cash flow and capital for the business
Right.
or the company,
Just more
corporation.
investors.
Yeah.
So many people are
shares.
like, oh, well, I have to own one whole share and I don't have $800. I only
Yeah.
have $250.
Yeah. I don't think on TD Ameritrade you can buy partial stocks.
You can't. Interesting.
Your dividends reinvest partial.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go put an order in for partial.
Is TD Ameritrade owned by Schwab? I'm pretty sure it is. I think TD
I don't
bought
know
Schwab.
for sure. Wait, TD bought Schwab? Or Schwab bought
Schwab
TD?
bought TD. TD Ameritrade acquisition. Yes, Charles Schwab acquired TD Ameritrade. But it's interesting because on Schwab you can buy partial shares.
And maybe
Maybe it's because, well, in each platform's different. I mean, you think of it, it's just a giant problem of supply and demand. Is someone selling a partial share when you're trying to buy it? Like, that's the disconnect, you know?
Yeah, so like if I go on here, I can only type in a whole share. And maybe if I'm on desktop or Thinkorswim, maybe I can. I don't know. I haven't looked into it because I'll just buy a share. But yeah, I mean, I think sometimes stock splits can be a little scary from an investor standpoint. Like, why are they splitting?
Right.
I don't think that's
Well,
always
it's
negative.
more
but
so if the splitting is from, is it the positive or the like reduction of shares? Because the reduction of shares is usually never a good thing.
yeah, like there was this one company, for example, they were not on the New York Stock Exchange yet because you have to have your stock price has to be over $1 a share and like a 50 million market cap or whatever to maintain being on the New York Stock Exchange, if I'm correct. I think that's the range. But so they did a reverse split so that they could get on on the New York Stock Exchange. So they went from like, I don't know, whatever that would be. So they did a 4-for-1 so that it would be $1 per stock.
Just to meet that qualification.
Just to get that. And long story short, they just, it tanked. It was just like a pump and dump scheme thing. I did get caught up in it, but
Oh, Riley.
you live, you learn. It was like my fifth
It's a good
stock that I
learning
ever
lesson.
invested in. But
You're okay. We're going to have a little interruption in the podcast. What's that? We're not getting to Apple Studios
I didn't know that
displays.
happened.
Damn it. I know. I didn't tell you because it came in Friday. So I got 2 Apple Studio displays because I ordered one
Like
for
the new
myself.
ones?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, sweet. They accidentally delivered 2. I was like, sweet. I'm going to give one to Riley or return it and get my money back. No. Sign for one on the...
Damn it.
What are the odds
Was
of
the
it?
address yours? Sweet? Your suite?
I didn't look, but the
Oh.
guy delivered one, and then the
Interesting.
guy came with like all of our other monitors and stuff. Pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. If you're not proactive like you and like leave it there for a week, like that could be hairy.
Yeah,
You just,
open the
bust it
box
open, yeah.
or go return it
like,
already.
shit.
Ah, damn it. When they come to get it, just give me the eyes,
Okay, I'll
and
be
we'll
like-
come back. And you know what's funny is Emily and Mike Baker. So Mike Baker's been on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Who is Mike Baker?
Oh, Mike Baker.
Am I too young?
He is he's kind of a TV personality. He's
What
been
do they do?
he's a CIA officer and security expert, technical advisor for the entertainment industry, TV commentary, and host. He's like dialed in with like him and Joe go off about like Russia and China stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's
He
like
lives here?
yeah, he lives here in Boise. He lives down in Warm Springs, I think. But anyway, I guess they office here too.
Interesting. Did
It's
you know
kinda
that?
interesting. No, but we'll get to meet, I think, Emily or somebody in that regard.
Interesting.
That'll be funny.
There's so many cool people in.
I know.
our
Boise is
area.
such a great place to live. All right. That was a little tangent for the day,
Little
but that makes the
tangent.
podcast even better for those listening.
Um,
Where were we? Tesla stock splits.
yeah, I was talking about the reverse split that one stock did and then dumped.
Pump and dump.
So I waved goodbye to a couple $1,000.
That's okay. You live and you learn.
You live and you learn. I'll just sell it for a
Are you
loss.
bullish on Tesla? Where are you at? Because what is this? Is this the third split or second? I think it's the third.
I think third because they've done. I know last one was 5, right?
We need to really get our facts straight, man. But are you bullish?
I would say the simple answer is yes.
Why?
Because I think, like you said, Elon is doing it. We were talking actually earlier, not on the podcast, but how he was focused on manufacturing the product, not the product necessarily.
Yes.
So he was kind of reverse engineering it, just like he did when building Tesla. He built the software, then the car.
Yes.
Not the car, then the software, and then
The car was the vehicle to deploy the software out into the world.
Yeah, and his factories, he knew he had to get that down, because who are you saying you were talking to, or like the
on the Nelk
asked him,
podcast,
what makes him different than
right?
Ford?
And his difference was that he has the ability to build out the manufacturing of it, because everybody can build a prototype, but it's like, how can you design machines and build car manufacturing plants to sustain the demand of the electrical vehicle? And that's where you see like Ford right now struggling. Like they've got, I want to say it was like 50 to 100,000 orders of the new F-150 Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't make it.
Yeah,
Because they don't have the production assembly lines built out. And it's a whole different way to build a car. And I think that's where he's 10 years ahead of the competitor.
Yeah,
I'm bullish.
I mean, yeah, and I think that's also why they struggle with margins too, is because they're still in that point where it's like, although they've been around for 10, 15, what?
I think like 10 years now, roughly.
Yeah, although they're in it, they've been in it for a while, but they're still so low on their margins just because they are like innovating so heavily and like
The
changing
R&D.
it. They're changing the industry, which is like, to do that is hard and requires someone like Elon.
It sleeps at the factory.
Yeah, he's insane. He's like, it's not healthy. Do not do what I do. Like, there was this one interview where he was like, I used to work like 90 hours a week. He's
So
like,
on the Nelk podcast too, he's like a night hawk. He's like, they're like, so what's your daily life like? And he goes, well, I stay up till about 3 or 4 in the morning, but then I get 6 hours of sleep. So he wakes up around 9. And he admitted it. He's like,
funny.
What's the first thing I do when I wake up? Get on my phone like every other American. Check Twitter.
That's what's funny, because it's like,
They're just people too.
because everyone's like, wake up at 4, make your bed, go to the gym, and it's
Drink coffee.
It's like, well, does that work for you though? Like,
What's your
works for you?
routine? What's your
Mine?
routine right now?
Mine?
Yeah.
Tito wakes up at 7:30.
Who's Tito?
My dog number 2.
Okay.
He's like 3.5 months old.
Ooh, young.
So yeah, he wakes up at 7:30 to go to the bathroom for the first time. We usually go to bed like between 10 and 12.
Are you one of those people that like drink a glass of water when you wake up, or like set something on your nightstand?
I'll get into that. So
Okay.
So we wake up at 7. I let him out, put him back in the kennel until 8, and then I feed both of them at 8. So I'm up from like 7:30 to 8, kind of just, I'll lay there and like close my eyes, whatever. And then at 8 I'll get up, and yeah, I'll drink one of these right in the morning to get everything going, and it wakes me up.
Yep.
And I'll go out on our patio and I'll stretch, kind of get some
yoga,
some sunlight.
Namaste.
So like when I stretch, like I'm forced to like
Get
get
your
up,
blood moving.
get your blood moving. So I stretch, and then I get some vitamin D first thing in the morning,
right.
which is crucial. I feel like I'm happier when I do that. Like, I don't know, it's weird, but like when I just start my day like that, it's pretty
Yeah.
simple. But then after that, I'll just get ready for the day. Sometimes I'll eat breakfast at home, and then head to the office.
I like that.
But yeah, since with the dogs, I've had to kind of engineer my schedule around that.
Right.
Because like Tito's still getting used to the kennel, so it's like if he wakes up really early, I don't want to just like put him back in the kennel, leave, and then like he's whining and waking Bree up or whatever. So it's like try to schedule that as best as possible. So I usually can get here by 9 every day, which is sufficient for me. And then like obviously
productivity, baby. That's how we do it.
But yeah, no, this gets
pounded first thing in the morning.
Wakes me up, gets things moving.
It sure does. Our real estate topic of today.
Mohamed Hadid. I don't even know.
I did a little background research on this because it's pretty interesting when you start talking about houses that are 12 parcels large, worth upwards of $250 million. One of the largest homes in Beverly Hills, currently under construction. I think there's about 16 liens out on it right now because our buddy Mohammed is defaulting.
What is a lien?
Yes, what is a lien? A lien is basically when you don't pay your contractor or your laborer and they file what's called a lien with the city, stating that prior to that property selling, those liens need to be paid off. So if you were to come in and buy that house, let's just say, in closing, when that gets recorded with the city and through the reason why you have a title company is to make sure that all the liens are outstanding, that they get taken care of from the lien holder. So the new buyer can negotiate the price down off of those potential lien prices, where I think it said like one lien was equatable to like 350 grand. Obviously it's a $200 million house. So it's like the whole bowling alley.
10%, yeah.
So that's what a lien is. A lien is, let's say you did work for something and you didn't get paid on it. You file a lien against that property. Where this gets really interesting and diving into the commercial real estate world a little bit from brokerage is, I think currently, and I should know this as a broker, I'd have to whip out my law book, but just off the top of my head, I don't think brokers are allowed to file liens against commissions on properties right now. So if they were not paid a commission.
Well, especially here.
Yes.
In Idaho.
Yep.
Because leasing's not regulated.
Well, leasing, but like on a sale, it would usually get recorded at closing. But like if some buyer or seller were trying to skimp out, I don't think so? You don't have the ability to do that. Unless there's a difference between mechanical liens and like some other lien, but I'm not going to go too deep into that.
I'm like
if we get to that point, I'll definitely whip out my law book. It's more about knowing where you can find the information than knowing it all up here, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So our buddy Mohammed,
the Hadid sisters and brothers' father, right?
Yes.
So they have money, in other words.
78,000 square foot house. Could you live in something like that?
Well, I wouldn't want to. Like, someone could literally rob the right side of your house and you would never know if you're on the left side.
Yeah.
So, shit like that. Obviously, there's probably great security there, but like.
But still.
And it's like, you can't enjoy a house that big.
I know, you really can't. I think that it's more of like, when you start talking about these homes this large, this is where just like people want to stash money. It's like people from China or all over the country just put money in the U.S. market. Yeah. Not like store it behind the sheetrock,
But like, I know what you mean.
But what's going to happen to this guy, man? 37-acre lot, largest ever permitted residential construction in Los Angeles, according to Zillow.
So
12 separate parcels.
So he's filing bankruptcy. So did he run out of money to build this house, in other words?
So when you start to get really rich, there's something that you can file within bankruptcy to like get out unscathed,
even though you
still
have the money.
Like there's certain ways to work the system, and I've never been through bankruptcy, so I couldn't speak to that, at least yet. But I don't see that ever coming. Is our friend here?
I think.
Okay.
Well, they're looking around like they're lost.
Well, we'll hit pause real quick. Is it? Oh, sweet. Well, maybe we'll get to meet Mike Baker and he can join the podcast for a quick little snippet. Oh, they were in and out of here fast.
He's an American-British former Central Intelligence Agency officer and security expert, technical advisor for the entertainment industry, TV commentator, and host.
Well, darn, that would have been really cool if we could have him spit some bars or something on the podcast. But guess what? We just need to get
Joe right there.
We just need to get our podcast quick bites to the level of saying, "Hey, Mike, you want to come down from the 12th floor?"
Exactly, because we know he's there now.
Yeah, now we know where he works.
It's funny because like we were pissing up there for 2 weeks.
I know, right?
That's
Mohamed,
funny.
our good buddy Mohamed.
Yeah, that's just kind of like that one house that went bankrupt and then they auctioned it for like a third of the price.
Yes.
Remember that one? But yeah, I don't, from like a practicality standpoint, I would never live in a house like that.
No,
matter how
like what's
rich
your
I am.
max square footage that you think you could live in?
I
Like
mean,
be a
you're
little generous because like you haven't lived in like a huge house before, but like
What do you mean? I live in a 750 square foot apartment.
I know, but I mean like when I was your age, my thought was like, oh, 5,000 square feet, like perfect. And now like that I'm older, I'm like, okay, well, 8 to 10 would be like max pushing it with a pool.
I don't think I've been in a house that big, so I'm not really sure what it would be like.
Right.
Let's see. Biggest house I've been
You're
in.
like me because I hate wasted space though too.
I hate
So
wasted
like it would have to
space.
have purpose,
I
you
hate
know?
walking that far in a house. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point too. Like if your master bedroom was upstairs, that would suck.
give me an elevator or a golf cart or something. But like, yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I feel like 10,000 probably be my max.
Right.
But it's like, okay, is that including my 9-car garage with my golf simulator? Yeah, like okay, maybe 12,000 square feet would be
There we
fine,
go.
you know?
There we go. Riley's coming out of his shell a little bit.
But yeah, so
This was a really fun podcast today.
it was. We got some good clips and topics.
We had some fun interruptions.
Yes.
That was wild.
That's cool. I had no idea who he is, so I was like,
Now you need to go watch his Joe Rogan because they're really good. They're some of my favorite.
that's crazy. That's just like that's like Aaron Paul. You're like, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Like
Blake. Any final words for the listeners today?
I don't think so.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts now.
Yes. Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Instagram.
And no, we're not sponsored by Manscaped.
Why did you say that?
Riley. You need to listen to more podcasts. Like every dude's podcast is like sponsored by Manscaped or Liquid IV. Get your Liquid IV.
Yeah.
Quick interaction.
That's funny though. I didn't. That totally went over my head. Makes sense now that you say that. Is
But we
Group
are
Chats-
sponsored by Slow by Slow.
Is Group Chats sponsored by Manscaped?
I don't know. It's a joke. Everyone makes the joke. I just saw it on the Nelk Boys podcast. They're like, we're not
That's
sponsored by Manscaped or Liquid IV, like every other podcast out there.